Welcome, welcome, welcome. Give me a second or two because I want to load up. I want to load up a couple of statements from Spurs and from Ange so that we can have a nice discussion on what should have happened at Tottenham Hotspur and what has happened at Tottenham Hotspur. Um, but if you have been living under a rock, Spurs have sacked Ange Postecoglou, the manager who has broken their 17-year or 7-year, no, 17-year trophy drought. And it sucks. It's sad. I'll do my best to talk uh, as a football watcher, analyst, whatever you wanna call it, man. Not as an Arsenal fan. Um, I'll just keep it to 10 seconds as an Arsenal fan. And then uske baad we'll talk about it in a purely neutral manner. So as an Arsenal fan, okay, I'm done. So now let's talk about it as a normal neutral football fan. And let's talk about Ange Postecoglou getting sacked. Okay. What do you guys think? Should he have been sacked or not? Should he have been sacked or not? Because it speaks a lot about where football is in general. It speaks a lot about the job he has done this season. And yeah, that season 3 wala thing, of course. Bhai. Ajeeb hi team. I know it sounds very counterintuitive, right? Like the guy has won a trophy, a European trophy at that. Why was he sacked? So let's start with a nice poll first. Okay, let's start with a nice poll. And I will in this stream give away 5 memberships because I haven't streamed in a long time and I am in a giving mood right now. So should Ange have been sacked by Tottenham Hotspur? Okay, done. Can someone give me the Discord link? I'll update it. I'll post it, Mandeep bhai, after the stream. Promise. Another Daniel Levy masterclass. लव यू दक्ष भाई क्या बात है इट्स नॉट क्या बात है रहने सु आज मुझे मैंने यूट्यूब से बात कर रहा था अबाउट सम फीचर्स दैट आर नॉट अवेलेबल ऑन माय चैनल जैसे तुम लोग देखते हो सुपर चैट गोल्स लीडर बोर्ड तो मैं पूछ रहा था कि मेरे पास ये क्यों नहीं है तो मैं उनसे बात कर रहा था मैंने पूछा मेरे को बताओ मेरे पास मेरे चैनल पे एक्टिवेटेड क्या है सो आज मुझे पता चला हाँ मिल जाएगी तुझे भी मिल जाएगी आज मुझे पता चला दैट channels can actually give away 10 memberships a month for free. So it is a new discovery for me and I'll give away 5 memberships today. Memberships कहाँ से ले? Usually आपको एक bot दिखेगा chat में जो आपको बता देगा membership link वहाँ से आप join कर सकते हो. Anyways दोस्तों, all right. So we'll check on the poll a little bit later. Winning a trophy is out of Tottenham's policy, so sacking was inevitable. All right, I get the joke and everything. So let's look at what the club statement from Tottenham Hotspur is. We ain't gonna give them the cookies. Simple si baat hai. Spurs don't deserve the cookies. Following the review of a performance and after significant reflection, the club announced that Ange has been relieved of his duties. Ange joined us from Celtic, blah blah blah, and wrote a new chapter by leading us to UEFA Europa League glory in Bilbao last month, an achievement that will live with us forever. We are grateful to Ange for his commitment and contribution to 2 years. Ange will always be remembered as only the third manager in our history to deliver a European trophy alongside Bill Nicholson, the legendary Bill Nicholson, and Keith Birkinshaw. Don't know about this guy. The board has unanimously, however, the board has unanimously concluded that it's in the best interest of the club that a change should take place following a positive start to the 23-24 Premier League season. We recorded 78 points from 66 games, dosto. Over a single season, okay? Which is, let's say we just take this season. Here are the teams who have recorded 66 points or more in a single season: Aston Villa, Newcastle United, Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. There are at least six teams. Forest have recorded 65 points, by the way. But there are at least six teams who have recorded the same number of points that Tottenham recorded in sorry, 78 पॉइंट्स मैं 66 पॉइंट्स क्यों कर रहा हूँ मैं तो निधि भाई वाली हरकतें कर दी लॉल बट 78 पॉइंट्स भी लिवरपूल हैव डन इट इन 84 Arsenal have 74 points. But the reality is this: you can't be getting 78 points from two seasons worth of games, right? That's kind of crazy to think about. Anyways, and culminated in a worst ever PL finish ever in their history. There were extenuating circumstances like injuries, European campaign, and stuff like that. That's obviously completely fine, but we cannot base our decisions on emotions aligned to this triumph. It is crucial that we are able to compete on multiple fronts and believe a change in approach will give us the strongest chance for coming season and beyond. This has been one of the toughest decisions we have made and should not have been taken lightly. We have a talented young squad, and Ange has given us a great platform to build upon. We should express our gratitude to him. We wish him well for the future, and he'll always welcome back at our home. New appointment will come in due course. Here is Ange's statement, and then we begin the discussion. When I reflect upon my time as the manager of Spurs, my overriding emotion is of pride, opportunity to lead one of the historic clubs, experience that I will share with those who truly love the club and see the impact. Night in Bilbao was the culmination of 2 years of hard work, dedication, and unwavering belief in a dream. There were many challenges, and we overcame these challenges. We have laid foundations. That means this club should not have to wait 17 more years for its next success. I have enormous faith in this group and players and know there is much more potential to grow in them. I want to thank supporters. There's some difficult times. I always felt they wanted me to succeed and gave me all the motivation I wanted to push on. Finally, I want to thank all those who were with me every day for the last 2 years, a fantastic group of young men who are now legends of this football club, the brilliant coaches who never once doubted what we could do. We are forever connected. Or there is faire, which means to dare is to do. So these are the statements that have been made by Spurs and Ange Postecoglou. Now, here is my position, and then of course we will hear counters and everything. I understand, Yadnesh. I can completely understand why you feel absolutely crap. For being completely transparent, I will only look at this as an objective, non-emotional decision. Spurs fans obviously will feel much more emotional about this, and they are absolutely entitled to do so. The reason I think Ange has been sacked, and I think it was also sort of right to sack him, is because Spurs are the only club in the history of the Premier League to have lost 22 games and not been relegated. The difference between Spurs being relegated or not relegated was that there were three teams who were absolutely historically worse in the Premier League because the gap between the rich and the up promoted teams is too much. Um, Now, you cannot have a season like that and build confidence among the ownership. You have won the Europa League, and that I think is a huge achievement for Spurs, for any club. It talks a lot about the state of football that Ange would have had a job today अगर Ange sixth finish करता और कोई trophy नहीं जीतता. The memes about the Spurs trophy less would have continued and everything would have happened. It's sad where football is that, and I'm saying this as an Arsenal fan, think about it, that a manager who has done something historic at a club is not good enough to sustain his job for another 12 months. One of the biggest reasons for all of those things is because if your level does not improve the next season, because in the Spurs statement, one thing is right, they did eventually just focus on Europe. They said F the league, F everything else, हम सिर्फ यूरोप पे फोकस करेंगे, and it's a gamble that worked for them and it's a gamble that did not work for Manchester United. Both of them did the same thing. Now, if the level is not maintained or if the level is not increased in the following season, you tend to have an you tend to have an Eric Ten Hag like season. Spurs को no matter what happens इस summer strengthen करना ही था. If they had strengthened according to Ange की needs, they would have incurred a heavy bill, wage bill, transfer fee bill, and agar level improve nahi hota, Ange would have been sacked anyway. There was absolutely no way that Spurs would be finishing mid-table or lower mid-table with the Champions League also, because Champions League में तो आप rotate भी नहीं कर सकते, and kept his job. So the board has taken an unemotional decision. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm saying it's an unemotional decision that Spurs have taken. Whether it's right or wrong, ये तो हमें time पे ही पता चलेगा. So yeah, here is my thing, that the trophy is a historic achievement for Spurs, but the board clearly feels that it's not a solution to the underlying issues of what Spurs actually did in the entirety of 10 months. That Spurs board thinks ki the 2 weeks cannot really cover for what happened in those 10 months. That is what Spurs did. I will also say this though. If Ange की performance पे इतना strict review होता है, something should also be done about Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy has been the CEO of this club for a long, long time. And even though he has guided Spurs through a new stadium rebuild and all of those things, and Spurs are a money making machine, which I believe it's only because of Daniel Levy, he has sportingly really kept Spurs बहुत पीछे because of a reluctance to spend, because of taking some really strange decisions like sacking Mourinho before a final, um, hiring, like signing players that probably were not good enough for Spurs, letting players go who were good enough for Spurs. So there's a lot that Levy has done that should also be reviewed, and he should also probably be reflecting upon his time, and the owner should actually be reflecting upon Levy's time at Spurs as well. That's what I feel, man. All right. नहीं, स्पर्स पे बात करने का फायदा है, ट्रांसफर्स तो होते रहेंगे, स्पर्स का कुछ सीन नहीं है. Alright, let's see. Rebi, thank you so much for the contribution, brother, for the amazing 30 bucks. Love you so much. Appreciate all the little contributions people do. Lily Whites India says, Circus of a club, Romero, VDV, Udogi, Poro played just 21 games and we lost only 3 of them. Ange plays good football, but depth or signing nahi do, and usi ko hi blame kar do. Each player was behind him. Yes, this is one of the things that the board should have considered if they haven't, is that the dressing room obviously loves Ange and they were behind Ange to continue beyond this. Um, will these players leave now that Ange is left? I don't know. I would hope जैसे उन्होंने Ange को चांस दिया वो किसी नए मैनेजर को भी चांस देंगे. And the new manager being reported right now are one of Marco Silva, current Fulham manager, and Thomas Frank, Brentford manager. These names might not inspire a lot of people, especially if you're a Spurs fan. But आप याद रखो, Ange himself was from Celtic. And even though Frank and Silva aren't as winning as Ange, these guys have had a long history of being in the Premier League. Marco Silva was with Watford at, I believe, at one point of time, and then Everton at one point of time. Now he's with Fulham and he's doing fairly okay. But also remember that Pochettino comes from Southampton himself. So this is not as wild a move for Spurs as you might think. Spurs have had a history of getting really good managers from lower middle table or middle table Premier League clubs and employing them. So it's not a crazy decision that Frank and Silva consider only. Spurs have actually done this. 17th place did us no major harm. We won a trophy and got UCL with crap players like Richarlison and all. Levy, I hate you, says Rakesh. Completely understandable, dude. I think this season it did not do any major harm, Rakesh. That's what I believe. But I think eventually it would have caught up to you. Maybe Ange could have been good next season. We never really know. Maybe the season 3 wala code could have actually been a real thing. But now we don't know. But thanks so much for the contribution. Danny Levy might be the worst owner. He's a CEO, not the owner. But I understand what you mean. In the PL, but his decision is correct. Arteta is next. 6 seasons, no trophy. Haha, loser club. Maybe he is next. Javi to Tottenham Hotspur, here we go. I don't think he's the name being reported. It's Thomas Frank and Silva. After that, 1-4 against Brighton. It's good that Spurs sack Ange now before the transfer. वही मैं भी Ten Hag वाला ही देने वाला था. Why not talk about Arsenal and Rodrigo being the top target as per hand of Arsenal. We will do it. We will do it. I promise. That was the plan. Before I took a nap, when I woke up, Ange was sacked, and I was like, "This has to be the headline." We will eventually go back to transfers because that's the biggest thing these days. Don't worry, we'll get to that, yeah, Pratik bhai. Thomas Frank is a good manager. He is somebody who gets the maximum out of a club. And to be honest, Spurs का अगर आप core group देखोगे, it's a very young group of people, man. Archie Gray, Mikey Moore, Vuskovic, a lot of these people who are there at Spurs are very young, and Thomas Frank and all these people can really make something of it. I won't be surprised if Frank moves because I think Mboma is going to leave. That's for sure. He's leaving for United. I think Visa, agar if Thomas Frank comes to Spurs, I think Visa will join them. There's a huge possibility that Spurs will get Eze, and they've already had previously, I think, एक दो साल पहले contracts with Javi Simmons. UCL will help Spurs to spend a lot of money. It's just about who they spend that money for. Will it be Ange, जो अब नहीं हो सकता, or Frank or Silva? The only problem that Thomas Frank appointment will have is Thomas Frank is untested in Europe, any sort of European competition. Thomas Frank has gotten Brentford to the Premier League on a shoestring budget compared to other clubs. He's made Brentford a staple Premier League club now. बहुत सारे clubs ऊपर आते नीचे जाते हैं. Brentford आया था 2021 में, and this would its be fourth successive year in the Premier League. And he's made use of some amazing talents along the way. Damsgaard, Norgard, Mbomo, Visa, Schade. कितने सारे अच्छे अच्छे प्लेयर्स हैं. So yeah, I think Thomas Frank at a top club would be a very interesting choice. He's just untested in Europe, something he'll have to manage as well. Like, he's not managed a team which has had to do multiple games a season week on week. So that will be a challenge for Thomas Frank as well. But from what I've seen at Thomas Frank, he is a very, very smart manager. It will also probably mean that Spurs go to a back three now. Thomas Frank is a notorious back three user, although he has shifted to a back four sometimes. But I think Frank will go to, mere hisab se, a back three. Spurs Nepal says, thanks, Thomas Frank is leading the race to be a manager. Exactly. And as a football खिलाता है, it would be an absolute exception that less than only 10 players will get injured और उनके players में ही इतना difference है कि सब कुछ फट जाते. That's also true. That's also true. His football was very demanding. It's not really that surprising. A lot of injuries happened. Thank you so much, Rebby, for the support of the content, man. Man City and KDB fan says this is just disrespectful. Even Ange was not informed because he would have not told third season I win league or something. Shameful and disrespectful move by Spurs. I think wo to parade, I think 3 days after the winning the trophy ho gayi thi, and I think they probably have decided this in the last week itself, man. Grealish too. Okay, you mean to Spurs? I don't think they'll. I don't think that's gonna happen now. Isn't Levy a relative? I don't think so, brother. I think they're just. I think Enoch, ENIC, and Levy are just bald. I don't think they're relatives. Third season aura loss is crazy. It is crazy, man. Membership gift ho rahi hai. If we reach 500 viewers, I'll gift 5 memberships immediately. I think it's good for Ange to leave Spurs. He cannot top what he did. The league form was abysmal anyway. Exactly. I think the league form was probably that sunk him, and that's what Tottenham's statement has said. Chat, what next for Ange? Is there a Premier League club that needs Ange right now? Is there a Premier League club that needs Ange right now? That is a good question. I think Ange will take a break. I don't know where his next job will be. Maybe he goes back to Scotland. Maybe. But I think he'll try to prove himself in the Premier League again. I think we deserve a lot more Ange at the Premier League. लोग कह रहे हैं Everton. I don't know, man. Moisey looks like he's gonna be there for a while. If Everton again are in a relegation battle, maybe Ange goes to Everton. But I honestly think Ange will now look at himself at a top upper mid table or a top 5, top 6, top 8 club. Like, for example, I don't think Ange will come to Arsenal even if Arteta is sacked. I think he loves Spurs a bit too much, and I don't think it's like the olden days. Jaise George Graham was an Arsenal manager, eventually was sacked, and then he eventually became Spurs manager as well. I don't think that's going to happen in the modern day anymore. Especially, Ange has had such a huge legacy with Tottenham. He's not going to come to Arsenal no matter what happens. I will not be surprised If Ange joins a City footballing group club for a while, Ange has been a part of the City footballing group. जब वो योकोहामा को आई थिंक मैनेज कर रहा था, दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ CFG. Won't surprise me if he goes to Spain or some place, but I think he's gonna take a year off and he's gonna assess his options. And I think if a job in the Premier League opens up, I think he's gonna take it. Arsenal won't happen. I don't think he's gonna replace Pep. Although Pep and Ange have worked closely before for CFG, don't think it's gonna happen. Slot's gonna stay here. Maresca, don't think he's gonna go to Chelsea. Arsenal nahi hoga. United, maybe if Amorim is sacked, maybe. But I genuinely don't think so, dude. I genuinely don't think so. Ange to Brentford, why not? Because don't think so. I think once you reach a certain level, it's very tough, mere hisab se. Brighton probably can happen. Um, as assistant, no. He ain't going to assistantship, man. Trust me. Scottish football is great to watch, fast pace. Yeah, for sure, 100%. Forest, ooh, that actually could be a very interesting option. That could actually be a very interesting option. Um, if eventually Nuno is sacked, and look, Forest Corner is super duper ambitious. Huh? Girona, I still think Michel has few things to do there. I don't think he's gonna go to championship, man. Ange won't get a top six job ever. Never say never, man. Never say never. AC Milan. Oh, Ange ball in the Serie A will be fun, man. देखते हैं dude. देखो ये चीजें हमें कभी नहीं पता चलेंगी कि कब कौन कहाँ चले जाता है. Honestly, before Ange joined Spurs, he was linked to Chelsea. He was he linked to United? I don't think he was linked to United. He definitely was linked to Chelsea. He was definitely linked to Chelsea. But yeah. Oh, 500 people are here. It's time to give away some memberships. Some memberships. All right, dosto, get ready. All that stuff. Pray. Stream like kar do. I've heard that if you like the stream, there's a higher chance that you get the membership. So I'm gonna count to 10 for you guys to like the stream. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay. Let's go. 5 memberships gifted. No way, man. No way, bro. Oh my god, dude. एक membership waste हो गई, bro. एक membership एक membership waste हो गई. Chad, this should teach you that life ain't fair, man. The rich always get richer, dude. The guy who runs the Discord server has gotten the privileges to join the Discord, dude. That's okay though. Don't get disheartened. We have 5 more memberships to give away. We have 5 more memberships to give away. Don't worry, dudes. Everyone is linked to Chelsea at one point of time. If we let me see how many likes do we have. All right, so we only have 277 likes. Once we reach 350 likes, no, once we reach 400 likes, let's be ambitious. Once we reach 400 likes, I'll give away 5 more memberships. Rigged, I ain't do anything here, bruh. How do I join the Discord? Ask Rocket Man. Um, First of all, Nid, you're already a member, bhai. तू क्या बात कर रहा है? All right, I'll put the Discord link after. It's a fun place to be, dude. There are several things that happen. We discuss all transfers. We make match threads and we watch the matches together. There's usually always Madrid versus Barca fight happening. But there's good stuff, man. There are some really, really nice people. And we have people of all ages. We have, like Shantanu, who's like 15 years of age. And we also have people like Ankush and Eben, who are like 45, 52, stuff like that. So it's really, really fun, man. लड़ाइयाँ भी बहुत होती है डिस्कॉर्ड, दैट्स ट्रू डूड, लड़ाइयाँ बहुत ज़्यादा होती हैं, मैं भी भड़कता हूँ कभी-कभी, बट आई एम द मोस्ट एक्टिव ऑन डिस्कॉर्ड बाय द वे। अ, मुझे कैसे दे दी मेंबरशिप, मज़े आ गए सिस प्रद्युमन, कांग्रेचुलेशंस प्रद्युमन मैन। एबिन भाई ने लीव कर दिया? हाँ, वो ठीक है यार, उनका उनका सन इन लॉ इज़ नॉट पेइंग अटेंशन टू हिम, so he's just making sure he doesn't get left at an old age home, dude. All right. At least Ange ka quote ironic rahega, will be passed down for century to century. That's true, dude. His, I usually win things in my second season, it'll go down as an iconic quote, dude. Kaise ho, Fierce bhai? Interpersonally, if they had not gotten a replacement, I think, yeah, imagine, dude, they just cancel Christian Kivu ka contract and like, nahi, hame Ange chahiye, dude. Wolves bhai, kaise ho? Congratulations on your ex-player. Um, Vitinha winning the Champions League. 52. I know, dude. Ankush Bhai and Eben Bhai is just crazy. Yeah, dude. Season 3 got cancelled. Give me membership. I wish there was a way that I can. Ankush Bhai ka membership. uh, I wish I could give targeted memberships so I could literally really reward people who are here regularly with free memberships and stuff. But unfortunately, that's not how YouTube works, dude. This is why I really like Twitch. Twitch me, you can give targeted memberships. I officially welcome you to Odegaardism. Thanks, Ned. And thank you for completing 4 months here, man. All right. So Ange की बहुत याद आएगी. I will miss Ange as well. Bayern and Chelsea will also compete. Of course, dude, he's a top player. We ain't getting a free run at him, man. That's the reality, man. So 27 minutes we've spoken about Ange. Please keep sending in your Ange things, Ange questions, whatever you might have about Ange, and we'll keep picking them up. 300 likes okay hai, 100 more likes, and we'll do another 5 memberships giveaway. Perfect. Let's check on the poll, man. Should Ange have been sacked by Tottenham Hotspur? 64% of the people say no, which is good to see, dude. Which is good to see. What happened, says Clicks D. Spurs have sacked Ange Postecoglou, dude. Spurs have sacked Ange. That's what's happened, man. It sucks. But chat, before we move on to the transfers, isn't it kind of sad though? Like if Ange didn't win a trophy, but he was like seventh, sixth in Europe again, um, he would have had a job. And it kind of sucks how football is. Um, whether it's good or bad, I don't know. It's just how football is right now. Because you guys are right. In any other probably big club, if Arteta was in their position, agar wo Inter mein hota, like Inter have sacked Simone Inzaghi, or Simone Inzaghi has left Inter despite winning so much with them. But the final humiliation which he endured, losing the Coppa Italia to AC Milan, losing the Scudetto to Napoli, he left. And maybe in any other club, Arteta would have been sacked, Arteta would have left, but not here. And it just sucks about how football is now. If you look at Eric Ten Hag, he won the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup in successive years. His league form was eighth, whatever it was. I don't remember exactly. He was sacked. Um, is it good that we should be deciding the future of managers based on where they finish in the league? Like, is the league the most important thing for a manager, or is it winning any sort of competition? Any sort of competition. That's the question. Yes, brother. Thomas Frank as lead. Nid ने लिख दिया था, ये ले लिया था. Puneet bhai, 14 months, man. Let me tell you one thing about Puneet bhai. Puneet bhai hates Arsenal. ठीक है, मतलब पुनीत भाई could be having the worst day. उनका बटवा चोरी हो जाएगा, कोई गाड़ी ठोक देगा, ठीक है. He would go to some place just to find out it's closed for the day. ठीक है, उनका कोरियर Amazon वाला चुरा लेगा. Anything could have happened, but one bad news about Arsenal and पुनीत भाई का पूरा dopamine rush आ जाता है. And he's stuck with us through the entire journey for 14 months on Discord. ठीक है. लाइक हम सिटी पे भी हंसते हैं, वो भी आर्सेनल पे हंसते हैं, सब कुछ होता है डिस्कॉर्ड, बट पुनीत भाई स्टक विद अस फॉर 14 months. That's how I'm telling you, dude. Discord is absolutely elite. So if you don't like Arsenal, you still have a space on that Discord. Puneet Bhai and you can be friends for life. आर्टेटा कब सैक होगा पता नहीं, बट मेरे हिसाब से द राइटिंग इज वेरी क्लोज ऑन द वॉल फॉर हिम डूड. लाइक आई थिंक मेक और ब्रेक टाइम आ ही गया उसके लिए. आई डोंट थिंक ही गेट्स अ न्यू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बियॉन्ड दिस, एंड मेरे हिसाब से तो साल भी शायद से लास्ट ना करे अगर थिंग्स डोंट गो राइट. Fabrizio fraud है, we agree, we agree. Do you see Ange joining Forest? Kepa to Arsenal. We'll talk about Kepa to Arsenal. Don't worry. We cannot witness season 3. Daksh Bhai is biased. We are biased, dude. Any chance of at national team? Ooh. You know what? That's not a bad shout, actually, Galactus. There is a possibility. I think post Euro, sorry, Nations League ke baad, anyways, Portugal is having a change and they have a new manager lined up. So Jorge Jesus is going to be the new one. So I don't think that's going to change. An international management job. Ooh, imagine England hired Ange Postecoglou, man. That'd be crazy. भाई 17 फिनिश किया था, इंजरी 17th का एक्सक्यूज नहीं हो सकता. 22 लॉस. 17 फिनिश किया था, इंजरी 17th का एक्सक्यूज नहीं हो सकता. 22 लॉसेस. आई एग्री, आई एग्री. वुड यू कंसिडर? यस सोहम भाई, I would consider you for sure. DeMarco Dumfries in an Ange system with that crazy mid. No, no. If Inter hire Ange, those players are done. They're leaving first. They're leaving first. 2 CL finals in 3 years is also impressive. I agree. I agree. But I'm just saying, like, clubs handle sackings and retainership so differently. I think it's also a lot more cultural about it, man. Spurs are a joke of a club, sacking and sacking Jose. This club is just for laugh, says Acoustic Doctor. I think, personally, I would laugh at Spurs whenever I think they've done something stupid. I personally think this is a good sporting decision, dude. Will you accept Ange if Arteta gets sacked? No. Um, because I think the next manager who comes after Arteta would have the same base of expectations as Arteta, which is to win either the league or the Champions League. And I have not seen Ange juggle two competitions. That's a fault for Arteta as well, to be honest. But Ange ka entire career is probably 3 times than that of Arteta, and I expected him to juggle multiple competitions a little better. But nah, I don't think it's gonna happen at all, bro. What do you think about Cherky? I like Cherky, dude. Really, really good. कल उसने बहुत अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस ड्रॉप करी थी. Cherky versus Wirtz sort of reminds me of डार्विन वर्सेस हालैंड. जब आपको याद हो, हालैंड ने भी ज्वाइन किया था एंड डार्विन ने भी ज्वाइन किया था, एंड कम्युनिटी शील्ड मैच हुआ था जिसमें हालैंड ने पोस्ट पे मार दी थी बॉल, एंड आई थिंक डार्विन प्लेड रियली रियली वेल. एंड लिवरपूल वर सेइंग, ओ माय गॉड, वी गॉट a player similar to Haaland or better than Haaland, but cheaper and stuff like that. And then, of course, the season went on. And I think, as great as Cherky is, I think we're going to see during the season how amazing Wirtz is as well. I think because of yesterday's performance and Wirtz's performance against Portugal, which I didn't think itself was too bad, I think people are starting underrating Wirtz a little bit too much, and not even overrating, maybe slightly overrating to Cherky. I think to give Cherky his dues, people have started underrating Wirtz a lot more. I think we're going to see during the season how good Wirtz is actually, dude. Cherky to Man City, congratulations to Man City, bhai. Fiorentina to bhai, kya hi baat kare. It's best for Ted and Arsenal to part ways. It's been 6 years. Yeah, Pratik, probably you're right. Fab takes more time to confirm a signing than Guardiola took to replace Jesus, saying we cannot replace him. Both of them, man. Fabrizio and Guardiola. दोनों पे किसी पे मत करो भरोसा. Nobody can match Puneet Bhai's hate for Arsenal. See, Iced Kraken is like a witness to this, man. Arteta shouldn't get sacked, says Prathamesh. All right. India में ले आओ. Ange to Germany, here we go, says Abhi. I think it's going to take at least a few months off, man. I think it's going to take a few months off. Ange for India. Oh, yes, let's go. Saw that Sesko is joining Arsenal is almost done. It's not done, bhai. Don't believe Fabrizio. Again, जब तक Sammy Mogpel and David Ornstein नहीं बोले Sesko के लिए कुछ concrete की close to agreement, like just see David Ornstein's tweet when something is about to happen. Until Ornstein says it, don't believe anything. All right? Okay, let me just skip a few chats. Juventus present offer to Jonathan David. Oh, interesting. Who is Juve's new coach, chat? यूवे का नया कोच कौन है अभी? यार एक तो ये सीरिया के कोचेस का ट्रैक रखना इतना मुश्किल है. सो कॉन्टे इज स्टेइंग, कीवू इज देयर फॉर इंटर, गैस्परिनी हैज जॉइंड रोमा, यूरिच, इवन यूरिच किसका है? ओह, ट्यूडोर इज स्टिल देयर. या ट्यूडोर इज स्टिल देयर. यू राइट. यूरिच किसका कोच बन गया? ओह माय गॉड मैन. Milan Consecao, I think, is getting sacked, right? Yeah. Spurs only won Europa because no team went to Europa from UCL. That is a big part of it, and I think you'll see a lot more English teams winning the conference and the Europa League. मेरे हिसाब से. Atalanta, okay. By the way, did you hear about this? Crystal Palace will not be participating in the Europa League anymore because of multi-club ownership. जो उनका ओनर है जॉन टेक्सटर, also owns Lyon, also owns Botafogo. And since Lyon and Palace both are in the Europa League, one of the clubs will probably get kicked out, and I think it's going to be Palace based on, I think it's the coefficient. It could have been possible for both of them to participate if John Textor on time had transferred his ownership control to a blind trust, that is a temporary holding of his share and ownership into a shell organization, and then eventually taken it back, something what City Footballing Group did with Girona and Manchester City. So it's very unfortunate that Crystal Palace had an incredible year where they won the FA Cup over Manchester City. They could have played Europe. They should have played Europe. Oliver Glasner deserved it. But multi-club ownership, man, it sort of ruined Palace in that context. And I think now that Palace will not play, it's unconfirmed, don't quote me on this, but I think Forest is going to be the next team which is going to go up from Conference League to Europa League. So Forest might actually play the Europa League. I don't know if there's a new team which will take up the Conference League spot. And if that happens, then it will be Brighton who will be playing in the Conference League. But it sucks. It actually, maybe, again, don't quote me on this, but Forest not, but Palace not being there, I think, is a disgrace, man. Fabrizio Romano tweet, somebody says. One take the Fabrizio Romano के जो tweets होते हैं ना, check out my Instagram, by the way. It's football w daksh. That is where I talk about football as well. Victor Gyökeres desires to move to Arsenal if he's given the opportunities to choose a club this summer. Sporting Lisbon already believe that Gyökeres prefer Arsenal in the Premier League. That's John Cross mirror. Man, I don't even remember when was the last time John Cross had a good report. I don't know if I should believe this or not. Ben Jacob says United. John Cross says Arsenal. Liverpool are advancing to complete Wirtz deal in the next few days. Here we go soon. Negotiations at final stages with the details being sorted. Then Wirtz will travel for medical. I think it will be done next week, which means Monday onwards ab hoga. It's Saturday, Sunday sab chutti pe jayenge. But yeah, but this is an update which is not an update, to be honest. Oh my god, man. Yeah. All right. Chat, did we reach 400 likes? Nah, so no 5 memberships for you guys. I am sorry. Words के 2 और ट्वीट आने बाकी हैं. अभी here we go soon, deal on, final stages, ये सारी चीजें होंगी. Fabrizio behave like ex-users, man. Yeah, dude, check out this. This is my Instagram. Thank you, Man City and KDB fan. You should follow me on Instagram, by the way. I put up some nice post-match instant reactions and some reels over there. And I'm more active on Insta DMs than anywhere else. Well, except Discord. That's where I'm active all the time. Ambumu Here We Go kab hoga? I think Ambumu Here We Go will happen when United pay the money. And I think United have submitted a 60 million bid, whatever it is. I don't know, something they submitted today. So I think that will happen soon. Sue, bhai, Sue. Daksh bhai, what do you think about Joan Garcia? Is he good enough to start Champions League game for Barca? Yes, I think he is. I think he has made incredible leaps in the last entire year. Last season आर्सेनल उसको लेने वाली थी. उसका तब रिलीज क्लॉज 30 मिलियन था एंड आर्सेनल ने 26 मिलियन या 24 मिलियन ऑफर करे थे एंड 6 मिलियन के हैगल पे हमने उसको साइन नहीं किया एंड वी एंडेड अप डिसाइडिंग गेटिंग नेटो. इमेजिन आर्सेनल कुड हैव आल्सो हैड जोआन गार्सिया for as a backup. Bhai. That's crazy to think about. But we missed our chance because of saving money. He had an incredible year for Espanyol, and now he became good enough from being a second keeper to a first keeper, which is what he wanted. And so, um, he's good enough, brother. Trust me, he's good enough. Shot stopping is good. Ball playing is good. Confidence bada hai. He's very very good, dude. Trust me, he's very very good. सेस्को से अच्छा आर्सेनल शुड गो फॉर हुगो एकेटी के 100 million पैकेज है. I think we've worked on Sesko for pretty much 2 years now, man. Um, XG prevented is 8.4. That's also because of how Espanyol is as a team, just faces a lot more shots. Like Matt Sells' XG prevented is insane. But that's also because of how Forest also play, right? Do you think Edu was simply incompetent? To an extent, I think yes. I think Edu, one of the good things that Edu really, really did was he handled contracts really, really well. What he did not handle well was sales. Um, and what he did not handle well was his relationship to agents. If you remember getting Willian with Kia Joropchian initially, was bad. He was really into Kia Joropchian. This is why we got David Luiz and Willian, first of all. He was also getting us players like Marquinhos from Brazil, which is terrible. Like if you look at what Forest are recruiting now, they're recruiting three players from Botafogo. Okay? I'm so sure Forest probably looked at one, but Edu is probably making a deal or some slick business with an agent and getting two more from the Brazilian league. So yeah, it's got like he's also just very sleazy. And I think there's a good reason his powers are being diluted dhire dhire. There's a good reason Vinay Venkatesham left. There's a good reason Tim Lewis also came in and his power got diluted. When Arsenal needed a striker, his suggestion to Arteta was Rodrigo Muniz from Fulham, which I don't think would have been good enough. But he did have some good recommendations as well. When we got Calafiori, his recommendation was actually Murillo. But then we decided not to go for it and we decided to go for Calafiori. That could have been good. So, like any other sporting director, it was just good and bad. That's it, brother. Would you have Joan Garcia or Diogo Costa? Joan Garcia any day, man. Both are good, but I would prefer Joan Garcia. Edu was a release clause merchant, not necessarily also, dude. If he was a release clause merchant, Joan Garcia should have been at Arsenal this season. Discord link post पहली बात सिर्फ members के लिए available होता है Discord यार विकी भाई. So you have to be a member first to be a Discord member. Yeah, you have to be a YouTube channel member to be a Discord member. That's how it works. Otherwise, बहुत भसड़ मच जाती है. I've seen so many Discord channels just die off, turn into like a Discord channel for sharing links of adult content and stuff. We don't want that to happen to our Discord. It's a good community, man. Mike Maignan to Chelsea, I think, is a good. You can't go wrong with it. He's Champions League experience, and if you're gonna play in a squad, if you're gonna play in a competition like the Champions League, you would need somebody with experience like Champions League. He is just a bum at saving shots, though. He is just a bum at saving shots. I'm not saying that because of how it went against Spain. In general, for Milan, also, he's a bum. But if you speak to somebody like, I think Chintan would tell you the best, or ask Ajay or anyone from Culture Charcha. Towards the end of the season, in the last 1/3 of the season, he actually improved a lot, man. So yeah, नहीं ऐसे नहीं मिलता Discord चैनल का लिंक. Membership join करनी पड़ती है. Okay, Arsenal are going for high quality signings in every position. Which is not possible. They should go for marquee signings in 2 positions and innovative in the rest of the 4-5 positions. It still is not clear to me what our signing targets are. Sesko is obviously there, with Gyökeres also being in consideration. So those two are there for the striker position. For the wingers, it was Nico Williams, but he's signing a contract extension. Jamie Gittins, who's young, but I think he'll go to Chelsea. And then there is, of course, now the established link to Rodrigo if he chooses to leave Real Madrid. So these are, I think, the two high quality positions we're targeting. We're getting a cheap backup keeper in probably Kepa, 5 million ka padega. I don't like it, I don't hate it, but you can't really have strong opinions on backup keeper. And he's 30, he's played in the Champions League, he's played in the Premier League. You can't get better quality at 5 million than this, to be honest. So I'm okay with it. He's a backup keeper at the end of it, right? Um, then there are a couple of Greek talents we're looking at. Karistas, and there's another one which came out today. Two midfielders, I think. Now, these are the innovative signings. I don't think they're going to be as high as the quoted prices. Karistas ki quoted price 45 hai. I think it's going to be more like 20 plus something add-ons mein. And he's going to be loaned back like Saliba will, probably for 1 or 2 years max. So these are the things which we're going to do. Mere hisab se. We are going to be innovative. We tried to be innovative at getting somebody like Sver Naipan. It looked like he's going to join City. He said no to City, said no to us. Now he said no to Villa as well. So I don't know. Maybe he goes back to City. Maybe he comes back to us. I really don't know what's he going to do. तो वो देखना पड़ेगा कि हम क्या करते हैं. But what you've suggested is exactly what we're doing. I think we're going to get a marquee signing in striker forward, a striker या center forward position, and we're going to try and get a marquee signing in that left wing. Our core everywhere else is pretty much set, and we're obviously getting Zubimendi as well. Hopefully. But if we get Zubimendi, if we get a striker which is either Sesko or Gyökeres or a Rodrigo, I think that's going to be good. I don't think we'll get all three though. This is my honest belief. I think if Rodrigo becomes available after the Club World Cup, which is going to happen and get over in like 10-15 days, I think. So, if Rodrigo becomes available, all our money, all our effort goes to signing Rodrigo. He becomes priority number one. And Rodrigo is not going to be cheap. He's going to cost anywhere from 80 to 100 million euros in transfer fees. He'll probably cost around 300 to 350 gross salary, which means 250 to 280k net. That's going to be an expensive operation. 300 to 350k gross is around कितना होता है 350 star 50 क्योंकि salaries 50 weeks पे होती है. So it's going to be around 17 to 18 million gross salary. So 18 million per year over 5 years is a commitment of 120 million euros plus around 80 to 90 is going to be around a 200 million euro operation. ठीक है? That is what I expected to happen. So all our money is going to go into Rodrigo. That's the reality of it. फिर भाड़ में जाए सेस्को, फिर भाड़ में जाए Gyökeres, Rodrigo becomes priority number one. Why? He's just 24 years old. He is an intense X factor that we really want. He is Champions League experience. He's a Champions League bloody winner. ठीक है? He can play left wing, right wing, center forward. He can play all three positions. He's an international as well. So वो 150 से 200 मिलियन का पूरा सैलरी एजेंट फीस सब मिला के यू विल कमिट टू रोड्रिगो. Zubimendi, I think it's done. So I think that money is already gone. 51 million हमने जैसे भी उसको करा structure, that is done already, minus the salary. So around 70 million already done for Zubimendi. अगर आप सब कुछ मिला लोगे एजेंट करके. ठीक है? What Maguire reporting from BBC? I missed that, yeah, Vivek. What did you say? I'm so sorry. Can you just write it again? Which makes me think if we get Rodrigo, we will go for a cheaper striker like Ollie Watkins, who will probably cost around 40 million in transfer fees and like 150k net in wages. That is what I feel. I think if Rodrigo becomes available, all our money goes to Rodrigo. If Rodrigo is unavailable, I think we'll look for some other winger options, probably like Sane. And then we'll go for a striker like Sesko and we'll blow the money in Sesko, Zubimendi, Sane, and probably another winger. That's what I feel. Next season, City will be back with Liverpool getting better. Will Arsenal be the one to lift it? I don't know, man. It looks, right now, it's very tough to say, dude. Because the business that City and Liverpool are doing, they're definitely top two. आज मैंने MGM पे टाइटल के odds देखे थे. Liverpool are favorites, 28.6%. उसके बाद it's Man City with 24 something percent. and there's Arsenal with 23%, and then uske baad fourth is Chelsea, fifth is United, and then everyone else is like 1 or less than 1%. Zubimendi actually done. Apparently, it's gonna take till July to confirm Zubimendi like Merino because of some accounting reasons. But Ornstein, Mokbel, Fabrizio, I think even if you don't credit even Mokbel or Fabrizio or Ornstein, तीन में से दो ने तो at least confirm कर दिया. So unless he changes his mind last minute, I think it should be done. I think it should be done. Brahim Diaz could also be an option. He's good, dude, but he's not a level raiser like Rodrigo, is what I feel. Um, Arsenal will send Sesko in a week's time. I would not hold my breath for it here, Pratik. I don't think we will confirm anything. My personal belief is I don't think we will confirm anything until we get clarity on Rodrigo. That's it, man. Um, Man City KDB fan, I'll star your thing. I'll do it. Let me look for Vivek's comment again. यार Vivek क्या कह रहा है? Sesko and Rodrigo both should come. In an ideal world, yes. I don't think we have the headroom to pull off both, though. That's what I believe. Unless we sell Martinelli, then we're selling Martinelli. Essentially, that's what's going to happen. Look, players that have been let go, fair enough, but we will not make too much money from their free wages. Okay? Then we will have to sell somebody. We will have to sell either Zinchenko has to go for money, or Martinelli, or Trossard. We can't extend Partey also and have Zubimendi and have Rice and keep Odegaard, also renew Saliba. आज Gabriel का contract extend हो गया है. All these things. So somebody will have to make space if you want Rodrigo and Sesko. Is my personal belief. 400 likes हो गए? Guys, man. You guys. I'll give you. Let me just look for Wake's thing. Okay, Maguire. Which Maguire is it? Sam Maguire? No, BBC. बीबीसी ने क्या रिपोर्ट किया है? इमाद ने तो कुछ डाल ही दिया होगा. बीबीसी ने डाला कुछ नहीं. जॉन क्रॉस, प्लेटी गोल, बेन जेकब्स, कैपा की न्यूज, साने की न्यूज, सेस्को की न्यूज, गियोक्रेस की न्यूज. और कुछ तो मुझे दिख ही नहीं रहा दोस्तों. Yeah. If you want to know my thoughts on Sesko or Gyökeres, you watch my video which I uploaded. It's the last video I uploaded called Dilemma. I think it's a very good video. You should watch it. It will give you the pros and cons of both and where I lean. Okay? All right. Nothing else I will do. How will Gyökeres fit at Barca? I think he'll fit really, really well at Barca, dude. Transitions बनाती है Barca and Sesko will excel, I think, in a system जहाँ पे उसको भागना है. And I think he can physically bully a lot of La Liga defenders. Not all of them. I think the only problem Sesko will face is when there are low blocks. But the good thing about the Barca system is he doesn't have to be the number 9, the goal scorer. He can be. Doesn't have to be the goal scorer. Leva can fill in. Rafinha, Lamine, Frenkie, Pedri. So many people can score, man. Olmo, whatever. Sell Martinelli, not Arsenal's level. Sell Trossard. Yeah. Martinelli, time to learn Arabic. Why will Rodrigo choose you over Chelsea if he decides to come to the Premier League? That is up to us, man. For us to present him a good prospect. I can't tell you about anything why he will choose us. I think we have a more stable project. I think we have a more mature project. I think there is less chance of our manager losing his job midway than at Chelsea. We have an older squad. We have a squad which is ready to leap right now. I think our biggest competition for Rodrigo is going to be either Bayern Munich and if City decide to step in. Those are it. If City decide to sell Grealish and Grealish goes to, I don't know, Spurs or I don't know, maybe let's say Grealish comes to Arsenal, then City will probably be the one that is going to be the favorite to sign Rodrigo. But I will put us ahead of Chelsea simply because we have too many wingers. He will be the outright number one winger, no doubt about it. But I feel our project has shown more in the last few years than Chelsea. And he will be outright number one left winger, centre forward, whatever his preferences at our club. Toby Maguire. What do you think about United business? Good question. I'll come to it as well. Thank you so much for the contribution, Girish. We'll just address that bit, that question. ले रहा हूँ Man City भाई ले रहा हूँ. City have Marmoush. I don't think that's ever stopped City, man, Pratik. That's never stopped City, man. The Pep Guardiola pull, the Man City being champions in so many years, that pull is insane, मेरे हिसाब से. Um, चेल्सी इतना वेज नहीं देगा. आई थिंक अब नहीं देगा तो कब देगा मैन. अभी तो देने का टाइम है. गर्नाचो को ले लो यार से. वो चेल्सी ले लेगी. चेल्सी के लिए परफेक्ट है एज वाइज वेज वाइज सब कुछ. ग्रीलिश इज गोइंग फॉर श्योर. He'll get the number 10 here as well. Boniface, I'm not even joking. Boniface, Girassi, both of these are really good fits for Chelsea. Don't think they'll go for them though. Okay. All right. We've come to the end of these. So let me just take some starred comments. Vakar ne first of all 27 months complete kar liye bhai. Vakar, one of the oldest members on the Discord, will tell you how great it is. But no, Vakar, thank you so much for 27 months, man. Love you so much, brother. कुछ भी message करने तो कर दे if you're still here, man. How's your PhD going? I hope it's going well, man. All right, Gyökeres being too overpriced right now. Haaland being bought at 50 million should make him go at 30, 40. But thinking on 97 million for Nunes, 80 for Haaland, 80 seems fine. I'll tell you one thing, brother. I ain't gonna discount the fact that Haaland cost 50 million. But the reason also Haaland came and stayed at City is the wages, man. A club's major kharcha per year is the wages that they pay, not the transfer value they pay. Um, let's say a club pays around 60 million for a player and they amortize it over 5 years. Or let's take Cunha for example. Chalo, let's take Cunha for example. Cunha is going to Man United for 62.5 million. It's going to be paid in 3 installments. Now that makes it a 20 million a year affair. But if you also look at his wages, that's going to be around 170-ish net or 150-ish net, which means अगर आप उसमें 50% और जोड़ोगे तो 225 to 230 k per week है. अगर आप उसको और जोड़ दोगे दैट इज अराउंड 15 इश और 12 to 15 मिलियन पर ईयर का खर्चा एक वेज ही है. अगर यूनाइटेड इसको 5 साल में एमोटाइज कर देती तो 12 मिलियन जाते ट्रांसफर फीस से और 13 से 14 मिलियन जाते वेजेस से. तो हालैंड का मेन खर्चा isn't the 60 million you paid for him. The main खर्चा is the wages you give him, which no club can give him. And we don't know what the wages are. ठीक है. Some people say it's around 800k, 600k, 500k, whatever it is. It's an insane expense that I don't think anyone else can make. But you're right about the overpricing on the striker market. I will give you that though. There is no way Ekatike after one season should be 100 million. There should be no way that Sesko and Gyökeres should cost this much. But that's the market we live in, unfortunately, man. गिरीश का क्वेश्चन एड्रेस करते हैं. आई थिंक यूनाइटेड आर डूइंग सम गुड बिजनेस by getting in players like Ambuemo, by getting in players like Cunha. It's a good strategy to get Premier League proven goal scorers, especially Ambuemo and Cunha जैसे players जो बहुत versatile हैं. I will say one thing. I don't think United fans should be online defending हमने इसके लिए इतने ही wage दिए हैं, इतने ही transfer fees दिए हैं. I think there are much more serious things happening at United when you finish as low as you finished. If you have the money to spend, spend it shamelessly, man. बोलो हाँ हमने 62 मिलियन दिए और हम कूनिया को 200 मिलियन देंगे 200 के देंगे नंबोमो को भी 200 के देंगे. You can give it because you can afford it. And if these guys propel you to top 4, top 5, who knows, maybe a title challenge, then you would not care if Cunha is earning 200k or 500k. Because at the end of it, एक फैन का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट काम यही होना चाहिए, ये डिसाइड करना कि क्या मेरा क्लब सही प्लेयर्स हायर कर रहा है, रिक्रूट कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है. क्या फर्क पड़ेगा अगर आपने 30-30k का कोई प्लेयर ले लिया, बड़ो वाह व्हाट फाइनेंशियल प्रूडेंसी, बट वो टट्टू प्लेयर है, राइट? सो I don't think fans should be the ones counting pennies. That is not your job. Your job should actually be analyzing, is my club recruiting really, really well? Wow, what a wage, and wow, what a transfer fees. Wow, what a deal. I think we have gone way too far into the financial side of football, man. As a United fan, if I was a United fan, I wouldn't care if you're paying 100 million for 5 players, dude. I know that's how the mess is. How is that's the mess United got into by paying overpaying for players and everything. If you can afford it, get it, man. Because in the end, all that matters to your club should matter to your club is your success. You should do smart business. You shouldn't overpay. It's all about getting the right players. For example, if you only get the attackers like Mbuamo, Cunha, and Gyökeres, and you've blown all your budget on all these players, no matter whether you got them for cheap or expensive, as great as these players are, it's not the right way to recruit because United still need midfielders, is what I feel. Bruno's going to be there. That's great. But you need a partner for Bruno in that midfield. Okay? I think Dorgu is a good signing. He is so young. He's going to develop so well. And in the 6 months, I've been very impressed with Dorgu. Um, I think you need somebody in midfield though, or one of Ugarte or Kobe needs to learn how to exist in that midfield next to Bruno because Bruno is going to be everywhere. That is the reality of it. And it's going to be up to one midfielder to actually hold the fort between the defense and the attack. जो आप कूनिया ले रहे हो कैन प्ले एज अ 10 कैन प्ले एज अ 9 अम्बोमो कैन प्ले एज अ 10 कैन प्ले एज अ 9 डोरगू अच्छा है माउंट भी है आपके पास यू विल सेल गर्नाचो यू विल सेल सैंचो यू विल सेल रैशफोर्ड सो विंगर्स की जो कमी होगी वो अमाद एंड डोरगू एंड प्रॉब्ली वन ऑफ अम्बोमो और कूनिया कैन फिल इन सो आई थिंक यू डन फैंटास्टिक बिजनेस इन पैसों में आप ऐसे प्लेयर्स लाए हो जो प्रूवन गोल स्कोरर्स भी हैं एंड मल्टीपल पोजीशंस भी खेल सकते हैं बट आई ऑल्सो थिंक यूनाइटेड फैंस शुड स्टॉप केयरिंग अबाउट कि हम उसको कितनी वेजेस दे रहे हैं स्टफ पीपल विल टॉक अबाउट वेदर यू पे देम 10K और 100K डजेंट रियली मैटर अगर आपके प्लेयर्स अच्छे हैं अगर यूनाइटेड ने सडनली गोल मार दिया दिस वुड बी आई थिंक the first season in the last 3 seasons United will if United end in a positive GD it will be the first season in 3 seasons United will have a decided positive GD. You will score more than you concede. And so that's all that should matter to you guys. I think United should go for Baliba. I also agree. I think that's the perfect one. Barbecue ke paise bacha liye United ne. I agree. That is the sort of stuff you should be calling out on कि लोगों की jobs जा रही हैं and stuff like that और आप barbecue कर रहे हो and stuff like that. I don't know, man. Why was Arsenal even interested in Mbuemo? Another left footer, not those physical attributes to play conventional number 9. Pradyuman, I think we were interested in Mbuemo if he was okay to play a backup to Saka. He would be the Saka backup at right wing for us. And that is it. And fair enough to Mbuemo, he backs himself not to be a backup and he wants to be the starting striker and at Manchester United. You can't hate him for that. It's the same reason we were in for Cunha, a versatile guy who can play off the main number 9 and can also play as the sole number 9. It is why we were interested in Cunha to be backups and Murmur to be backups. And fair enough to them, they want to be number ones elsewhere. So it is what it is, man. Trigo, if you can't beat him, join. Of course, man. Need your input. Want to buy the 25-26 Real jersey? Where can I buy? Adidas, dude. For as cheap as possible, probably one of those jersey sites. Alright, dosto. We are at 430 likes. It is time for another 5 memberships to give away. Let me see if I can give away 5 more memberships. Alright. Are you ready? I've heard if you like this stream, there's a higher chance of you getting a membership, man. And if you interact a lot in the channel like Rene, so you get a membership. So I hope आप positively interact कर रहे हो. And I hope आपने stream like कर दिया. So now it's the time for memberships. I'm gonna count to 10 and I'm gonna hit the send now button. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Like कर लो दोस्तों. 3 more second है. Like कर लो. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. All right, let's see who got it. Sohan, congratulations. Nisarg, congratulations. Anmol, congratulations. Galactus, congratulations. See, Galactus interacted, man. And guy from Dom, congratulations, by 5 people who got those memberships. Congratulations to you. I'll be posting the Discord link after. Do join in, man. We will be giving away 10 memberships per month. So be sure you're here regularly. Be sure you're interacting. Be sure you're liking. And yeah, look, even if you don't get a membership, if you're a positive influence on the chat, I will make you a mod. And I'm very nice to my mods. The other guy says, Bhai, Rodrigo is really a possibility gonna fap. I think you should fap when he is confirmed to coming to us. But abhi ke liye, edge yourself a little. Goon, as we say for gooners. Bow and Lol's when? I don't know. I cancelled it myself because I wasn't free these days, dude. Maybe we'll do it in a couple of days, I think. Membership lasts for how many months? 1 month. Then you'll have to renew yourself. All right, congratulations, whoever got the membership. You can unsubscribe, but you won't get memberships too. Trust me, my memberships are worth it. Trust me, my memberships are worth it. जर्सी दिखा दो पूरी जो पहन रखी है, मुझे भी बाय करनी. इट्स द क्लासिक मड्रिड जर्सी व्हिच आई बॉट फ्रॉम एडिडास. बहुत पैसे लगे इसके दोस्तों, बहुत पैसे लगे. It's a beautiful Tekka kit, and I got the black jersey, I got the white classic jersey, and I got the new Arsenal kit, जो मैंने लेटेस्ट अपनी वीडियो में एंड लेटेस्ट अपनी शॉर्ट में, जो सेस्को के ऊपर शॉर्ट्स बनाई थी, उस पे आपको दिख रही है. Do you think Madrid should sell Rodrigo? Here is what I feel. Rodrigo wants to play left wing. Left wing पे it's going to be either Vinicius or Mbappe under Xabi system. बचता है center forward or right wing. If Vinicius is left wing, Mbappe is center forward. We all know. And you're getting Budimir apparently. So that's there. Then, if Mbappe is left wing, maybe Rodrigo can be center forward, but I think it'll probably just be Vinicius. You cannot bench Vinicius and Mbappe, unfortunately, in this Madrid system. The position that remains is right wing. Problem number one with right wing, it's not the position he wants to play. Problem number two with right wing, you are signing Franco Matantuono, which he will most likely not play in the midfield. I think is going to be a winger for you guys. And if you're committing so much money for Matantuono, maybe Rodrigo will start, but eventually Matantuono is going to take, or Mastantuono, however you want to say it, is going to take over his spot. Which makes me believe that Rodrigo's future is elsewhere. But anything can happen if he talks with Xabi. If Xabi gives him assurances कि मैं तेरे को रखूंगा, you're going to be part of the plans, all that stuff, then fair enough, he's going to stay. But I feel the more players Madrid adds, there are several players जिनका future मुझे doubt पे लग रहा है. Rodrigo is one of them. Brahim is another one. Arda is another one I'm a little worried for. So, with Fede, if Fede is going to play midfield, we don't know. If Fede is going to play right wing, right mid, we don't know. If Xabi is going to change to a 3-4-3 sort of system, then yeah, maybe both Rodrigo and Franco can play. But let's see what happens, man. Franco will play right wing, yeah. No, I'm not saying he's a similar profile to Arda Güler. He's a completely. If you have to imagine Franco, the best, simplest way if to make you understand is Odegaard plus Nwaneri, but ability twice. He's a very, very good player, man. He's a very good player. Great left footer, great dribbling, great playmaking, great finishing. He's got everything in his locker, man. बहुत बढ़िया player है, बहुत बढ़िया player है. If you feel that's Arda, I think Arda is more of a. I think his creativity is underrated, but it's still not as good as people make it out to be. It's in a very weird way. His shot creation and chance creation is insane. So, like, वो खुद अपने shots बनाता है. Very, very talented player himself. What's up with Zubimendi? So, Ayushi, from what I understand from reading all the Arsenal journalists is everything else is sorted. The paperwork, the boring stuff is done. It's only the formality of a medical. And it's going to be a deal which is going to go into July because of some accounting period differences. It'll benefit Sociedad if that sale is shown towards July than right now. I don't know why. But it's also something which happened with Mikel Merino, who we signed in, I think, July, August only. So, yeah, it's just one of those deals that's just more of a paperwork kind of thing. That's what I feel, man. रोड्रिगो तो ब्रिज में ही खेलेगा अगले सीजन. हाँ, when Arsenal come visit Chelsea, he'll play at the bridge, man. No worries about it. We'll bring him. Don't worry, man. He won't be arrested for that one, I promise. It'll be interesting to see how Madrid players adapt to the. I don't think he's going to play a 3-4-2-1, man. I think this season he's played a lot more 4 at the back than people realize. Ash. So I'll be very surprised actually if he goes to a back three system with a lone striker and two tens for that matter. Don't really think he has a person. He has personnel like that. But let's see. Let's see. Maybe he tries the four, decides it's not really working because of disbalance, goes for a more solid 3-4-2-1 or a 3-4-3, whatever people want to call it. Let's see what happens, Ash. Nothing is guaranteed abhi tak. Abhi the guy hasn't even taken a training session. So let's see what happens. If yeah, oh Sohan bhai, first of all, congrats on the membership. If we sign Rodrigo, I am heading to the Emirates and I'm celebrating, brother. I'm gonna be there, man. Are there's like that only? All right, we'll see when Franco comes. Elanga to Newcastle, is that happening? Be very very good, dude. They do need a winger, but I think Elanga is more of a is Elanga left winger or right winger? Am I just nahi? Callum Hudson-Odoi is left wing, right? Yeah, yeah. No, then it will work fine, dude. Cherky joining City. Yes, I know Nisarg bhai. कैसा है भाई अर्नव? Height Nouri, think yeah, man. You need an offensive left back. Basically, here's what I think City is doing. They're signing players to replace KDB. All of these players, in essence, will take up the creative load from peak KDB. Sometimes Cherky is gonna do it, Tijani is gonna do it, and Ait Nouri is also gonna do it. Um, and that's usually what happens when you have to replace great players. You have to distribute the loss over multiple positions. If you only did like signed Cherky for a like to like replacement for KDB, I think people will try and shut down Cherky a lot. And if you shut down Cherky, or God forbid he gets injured, then you're in the same mess as when KDB was not there. A creative, like lack of creativity, right? So spreading creativity across. The interesting thing will be how, with all these new players, do City set up? Because there is Doku, there is Savio, there is Haaland, so those front three will be there. But there's also Marmoush. So let's say Marmoush takes up one of Savio or Doku. Fair enough. What happens to Foden? Will Foden go to the midfield? All right, fair enough. But then what about Cherky? What about Tijani? What about Rodri and Nico? Chalo, theek hai, they can. Whenever Rodri is fit, he is playing. There is no doubt about it. When does Nico get moments? When does Kovacic get moments? Bernardo, if he's leaving or not leaving. Grealish is definitely out of the picture. In centre backs, I think Guardiola is going to get priority. Ruben Diaz is going to get priority. Um, let's see who they get at right back. Ait Nouri left back ban jayega 100%. Let's see who they get at right back. They will try for Tino Livramento, although I don't think that's going to happen. If they get Martin Fernandez, fair enough. Vitteris might go on loan, which I think is a waste, especially if you spend 40 million on him. You can play him, I think. What's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to Oscar Bob? Where is McCarthy going? What's happening to Simpson Puse? What's happening to Kusanov? ठीक है. So there's a lot of questions about what City look like next season. It's kind of funny because Pep said, I don't want people to be out of the squad and all that stuff, but he's gonna have a thick ass squad, to be honest. So let's see what happens at Man City. Do there's a lot of questions. I don't think that's gonna happen at Arsenal forever. I think that's a bogus link. One of the links you just read and you laugh and you just move on with your life. I don't think Rogers to Arsenal is gonna happen. Because it we don't have a space for him to play. People will say इसको left 8 खिलाओ और राइस को number 6 खिलाओ, फिर हम जुबी मेंडी के क्यों पैसे दे रहे हैं? It's a waste of funds. We don't really have a space for him to play. If you want him to play left wing, I think that's a bad fit to buy. He's a ball carrier. He's great in central spaces and tight spaces. He ain't a winger, and that will be a misutilization of funds to get a winger and getting Morgan Rogers for that role. He ain't playing number 9. And I don't think he's gonna replace Odegaard unless he's injured or his bad form continues. And he's definitely not replacing Rice at the 8. So I don't see this happening at all, man. I think Vinny or Mbappe should play right wing to solve that Rodrigo problem. We never saw Mbappe and Vinny in right wing at Madrid. Probably because don't think they can execute as highly as Rodrigo. Vinny is a beast at left wing, man, and so is Mbappe at center forward and left wing. Mbappe can play right wing. It's just a square peg round hole sort of situation. I think Rodrigo is probably like the least frictional player you can move to right wing without too much damage, मेरे हिसाब से. How excited about the news excites me, but I'll only be excited when it starts picking up momentum, man. That's it. जुबिमेंडी को कल देख के लग गया वाओ आर्सेनल गुड मूव. ही इज अ गुड प्लेयर मैन. ही इज अ गुड प्लेयर dude. He doesn't do the fancy stuff. Doesn't do the fancy stuff, but he'll make all the right decisions, man. He'll make all the right decisions all the time. Could have had 2 assists yesterday. Could have had 2 assists. Fighting for Rodrigo, loving it. Yeah, man. Let's see what happens. Uh, no idea what this means, but thank you, Jude bhai. Just joined. Effing annoying that I never receive your notifications. Or kitni der ho? Probably like 15 more minutes, brother. Parthiv. And if you don't have the notifications on, there are two things you should do. Although I don't recommend the second way. The first is just bell icon off on kar do. And um, I think the more you interact with the chat, although you interact plenty, so I don't know why you don't get a notification. But if anyone doesn't get a notification, interact with the chat, and YouTube will make sure that you're in that I'm in your algorithm. Do you really need Kepa? Yes, we do, because we don't have a keeper beyond David Raya. We need somebody who can play in, is capable of playing in the Champions League. Should God forbid something happen to David Raya, um, तो लेवल तो चाहिए. आई नो पीपल से कार्ल हाइन सेटफर्ड इन सबको बच्चों को उठा लो. these guys are not ready, man. If there is something, मैं कहता हूँ और कुछ ना हो, सिर्फ टाइटनेस, मैं कहता हूँ डेड लेग टाइटनेस, सिर्फ 3 दिन की इंजरी हो जाए ट्रेनिंग में एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट मैच से पहले, I would not want Tommy Sedford or Karl Hein to be playing an important Champions League game for us. So at this level, you can't really make mistakes. Kepa is like a good sweet spot between experience and cheap. 5 million में Kepa से better मेरे को नहीं लगता कोई कीपर आपको मिलेगा. And he's just 30, man. So it's not like he's an old uncle, man. If Chesney can do a job, Kepa can do a job. City replacing Mahrez and Foden goals as well. Possibly. But I think the primary motive, Ayushi, is KDB, dude. You keep Kepa, we keep Rodrigo. Ek tera, ek mera. This is like a Chelsea-like deal, man. Where they're paying like 5 million or 10, 8 million for for Menyon. Martin Fernandez is very, very good. Viana will be very, very aware of his talent, sir. Porto guy is a very, very good talent. Should watch some of his comps. Check look up a data of him. I can just say he's good. I don't have the stats at the top of my head though. ये सब डिटेल्स बता के स्ट्रेस देना जरूरी है. आई एम जस्ट पुटिंग द रियलिटी इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, मैन. देयर टू मेनी क्वेश्चंस अबाउट सिटी राइट नाउ. आपने देखा बोर्नमथ बॉट ट्रफ. He's a very good talent, man. Bournemouth does these fantastic signings, man. What a joke of a club. Rewatch it starting game. I think 27 minutes we spent on Spurs. You'll understand why I feel it's the right decision, man. Ekitike for Chelsea, 100 million. Look, Ekitike he's basically like, can be a reincarnation of Isak, and I think this is why Chelsea are playing the money they're playing, paying the money they're paying. Can I be honest? Maybe I'm being stupid. I think Jackson's fine. I think Jackson, equal quality but much cheaper, somebody like Girassi or Boniface would work fine. I don't think they need to go this gung-ho on a striker. And I'd say they should rather shore up by getting. They already have a top midfield in Enzo and Caicedo. I think they should actually go for a top defender or a top winger. Like I would want Chelsea to actually pour in all their money in getting Rodrigo over Ekitike. But that's just me. Rodrigo or Sesko, if you can only buy one, who will you get? Rodrigo. 1,000% Rodrigo. Look, man, without I hate going back even 2 seasons. I hate looking back because that is not an indicator of anything to happen in the future. It can obviously show our capabilities, but 2 years ago we broke our goal scoring record in the history of the club. So we can score goals when we want. Uh, we need balance on that left hand side, man. Getting Rodrigo, I'm not even joking. Getting Rodrigo will be as influential and impactful to us as getting Alexis Sanchez all those years back. When Alexis came, the club changed, dosto. In terms of attacking talent, in terms of carrying, dribbling, energy, fitness, the guy was just a level above everyone else. And that is what Rodrigo is. Rodrigo ke aane se, you can play him in so many positions. And we've seen Rodrigo for so many years. The guy's just 24, dude. You slap a 6 year contract in him, you get the best years of Rodrigo. Get the best years of Rodrigo. उसके बाद you can, भाई, go for Watkins, I don't care, go for Mateta for all I care, भाई. But Rodrigo is a game changing signing. He'll change the complexion of the club. He becomes the X factor, he becomes the main man, he becomes the level raiser. One side Saka, one side Rodrigo. हम सब, those debates, Saka or Rodrigo. Imagine having Saka and Rodrigo, dude. मैं मजाक भी नहीं कर रहा. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy, man. Yeah, I think the Greek guy wala thing um is sort of like a luxury deal. We'll do it, but it's definitely for the future. That guy is not coming in to make an instant impact and win us the league. He is one for the future. Somebody we will probably pick up and send back on loan to the Belgian league. He plays in the Belgian league. Carestas uska naam. Yeah, you pronounce it Garestas. So he's going to be sent back to the Belgian league, develop another year like Saliba did, and then we'll probably take a call whether to send him back on loan or bring him in. So yeah. Daksh, do you think we just leave Rodrigo, Sesko aside, and direct all our effort to Isak, offer him massive wages, 120 million transfer fees, and lure him? I I think that ship has sailed for the fact that Newcastle themselves are in the Champions League. They can. I don't think Isak is pushing for a move. If Isak was pushing for a move, maybe it could have been possible to get him. If Newcastle weren't in the Champions League, maybe it could have been possible to get him. I understand what you're trying to say, though. I just don't think it's possible. Um, it's no, I genuinely don't think it's possible. I can't envision a scenario where Isak has said, "I want to move," and if he says that, we are not the only club in for him. And if there was a scope, we should have done that deal a lot before, because now that Florian Wirtz deal will dictate the rest of the transfer market for everyone else, which is why it's very important for us to set aside a particular structure for a player with the club. अगर सेस्को के लिए लाइप्जिग के साथ हमारे 80 मिलियन की डील हो गया, सेट कर दो भाई. Just eventually the only formality should be paying the money, because that Florian Wirtz deal is going to change what the clubs offer. You can see it with what's happening with Cunha and Mbeumo to United, right? Cunha से एक 60 million की base price set हो गई, which Brentford also feel that their player is worth. So United will essentially be shelling out 120 million for two attacking players, despite having Hoyland on the books, despite having Xerxes on the books, and they will most likely also go for Gyökeres if we get Sesko. So that's going to be around 180-ish million, 190-ish million just in transfer fees for three players, despite having two other attackers already. So that is already set. मेरे हिसाब से वो टोन सेट हो चुका है. अब Isak will be, I think, it's ungettable to get Isak right now, man. I know, brother. I know, Gary. Bhai. I would do anything for getting Rodrigo at Arsenal. Yeah, yeah. Oh, 100%, man. I'm telling you, man. Jokes aside, dosto, it's like whatever your feelings towards Rodrigo are, whether you feel him is underwhelming, whether you feel him is a world beater, just watch any Rodrigo comp. Fuck that. Watch Rodrigo versus City, watch Rodrigo versus Chelsea. Just watch any Rodrigo comp and you will be moved, man. Moved. ये देखो, पार्थिव जैसे मत बनो. पार्थिव, go watch Rodrigo, man. You're overhyping the dude. Nah, man. I would love somebody like Endrick as well. I just feel the money that Real Madrid have paid for Endrick, I don't think we'll be able to help you recoup any of that, man. Um, it's a it's a it's a good year for Endrick to move, to be honest, because World Cup is coming and he wants to be in the World Cup, man. What will suit Rodrigo the best? Chelsea, Arsenal, or City? I think what he brings to us will. I'll speak without bias. I think City suits him best. I think Arsenal suits him second. I think Chelsea suit him third. Tactically, in terms of system, maybe Chelsea suit him even better because Chelsea are a running, gunning team, and that's the best for Chelsea, and that's the best for Rodrigo in that sense. So maybe tactically, you can say Chelsea is the best fit. But I think in terms of the stability of the project, both City and Arsenal are better. Why I put City above Arsenal is because of Pep Guardiola simply. Um, Yeah. But at Arsenal, he's the main man. Outright main man, Devta, Bhagwan, everything. At Chelsea, probably the same as well. Um, Isak नहीं आएगा. Isak नहीं आएगा. Yeah, Isak नहीं आएगा. All right. According to you, back up to Saka, it'll have to be Noneri, dude. It'll have to be Noneri. Rodrigo is a UCL hero. Rodrigo Whiteheart. We need Rodrigo, man. I can't even tell you, bro. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, brother, he is a relentless bhai. I'll tell you one thing, man. All those Bengali memes, all those Goa wale memes, Indian memes have ruined his PR, man. You see Rodrigo best. Fair enough, man. Fair enough, dude. United inside forward suit him the best. I think that might actually be an operation tough for United to do, but you never really know, man. Next week, I think one deal should be done. I won't hold my breath, dude. I won't hold my breath. Greedy Madrid will ask for 100. Chalega, chale. Listen, man, I'll tell you one thing, man. I always say no player is worth 100 million unless you're getting a Yamal or an Mbappe. That's the reality of it, man. Apart from those two, there is nobody worth 100 million. Maybe you could argue somebody as influential as Rodri. Okay? Or Van Dyke in his prime. There are some times when your club has to go a level above. You pay this money. This is a strong position, as strong as ever that Arsenal has been. Think about it, man. We are second in the league. We've just reached the Champions League semi final. The only step beyond this is probably like wrapping up two domestic trophies, reaching the Champions League final, like being in Inter's position basically. आप तीन trophies के कगार पे थे एक हफ्ते पहले, and अब आप zero पे हो. That is how close you can get. And if you don't spend the big bucks on the big players now, sorry, man, nobody's gonna give you Rodrigo for 25 million. He is gonna cost 100 million because of his legacy, because of how important he is, both to his national team, both to his club, and he will cost a lot of money. That's the reality, man. We did a really good deal on getting Martinelli for 6 million, and Martinelli for that price has done phenomenally well. For that price, getting this amount of output from somebody like Martinelli, phenomenal. Now we need a level above. Now we need a game changer. इन टर्म्स ऑफ पैसे तो वॉलकॉट का भी आउटपुट कितना बढ़िया है भाई. इज वन ऑफ द टॉप स्कोरर्स इन क्लब्स हिस्ट्री. बट एलेक्सिस वाज एलेक्सिस, मैन. जब बार्सिलोना ने एलेक्सिस बेचा और हमने एलेक्सिस खरीदा, डिफरेंट ग्रेवी. जब ओजिल आर्सेनल आया, डिफरेंट ग्रेवी. यू कैन जस्ट फील players just change clubs forever sometimes. That is what Ozil did. That is what Alexis did. That's what Fabregas did. And if you don't, I'm sorry, if you don't invest in top strikers, dude, or top forwards, you will have to pay, man. Zubimendi is 95th percentile in duels and interceptions. For people who say isn't physical enough, 96th in aerial duels. Zubimendi, Ash, the best thing about Zubimendi is he's an intelligent footballer. You don't need to coach him. He'll usually make the right decisions on when to tackle, when not to tackle, when to duel, when not to duel, when to recover, where is the danger, when to pass, whether to move forward, whether to pass it to the side, to the back. Intelligent footballers are just that. One of the reasons City got Akanji is because he's an intelligent defender. Yeah, sure, maybe now he's athletically declined and injury hoti rehti hai. He's just an intelligent defender, man. Same with John Stones. It's just physical limitations that hold John Stones back. Otherwise, he's an intelligent defender. He played DM, he's played CB, he's been the playmaker, he scored clutch goals. John Stones is just like that. So, and that's how Cole Palmer is. You might think uske autism jokes banate rehte hain. Cole Palmer's reading and in-game adjustment is the top of the top, man. बंदे को समझ आ जाता है कि स्पेस कहाँ मिलेगा. He'll float to that area. अगर उसको दिखेगा कि opposition का back post weak है, he'll start crossing eventually to the back post. He'll find the most proficient way of scoring a goal, man. So intelligent players are beyond all these simple stats, man. Rodrigo will go to Bayern. That is my also a big fear, dude. Bayern need a left winger, man. And if look, first of all, they've offered Sane a filthy contract of around 20 million euros a year, man. First of all, 20 million euros a year over a 4 to 5 year contract. चल मैं कहता हूँ 3 साल भी दे that 60 million की commitment already, dude. They have wages, man. They have the wages to absolutely smash it. ये आज मैंने आपके निधि भाई की स्ट्रीम पे भी देखा था. इज आर्टेटा प्रोजेक्ट द सेम एज स्पर्स प्रोजेक्ट? एंड आई just repeat what he essentially said. The biggest difference between Arteta project and the Poch project, if you just look beyond the end result, ki Poch didn't win anything. First of all, Arteta won in his first 6 months. ठीक है? That's difference number one. The difference number two is there is a steady progress from taking us from 12th, then 8th, then 8th, then 5th, then 2nd, then 2nd, then 2nd. Think about it. What we have done in probably our worst season in the last 4 years, in competitively, is still the best of the rest. We're not number one. We're not the world beating team. Still best of the rest though. With a DM playing at number 9. One of the biggest reasons Poch's Spurs remained competitive was because of Harry Kane. Harry Kane always had this ankle injury in November, but beyond that, he was fantastic. Then you had Dele Alli, who was also contributing at that point of time. Then you added Son in that point of time. And I don't want to just put down Poch's success to only these three players, because Poch is a good coach, was a good coach for Spurs, took them to a Champions League final as well. But he could never consistently build on anything. I think for us, there's only one step which is missing. Will we ever take that step? I don't know. Your question, your thing is good as mine. In terms of end product, also, I don't think so, because I think Arteta has won more with Arsenal than Poch did with Spurs. Um, so that's what my belief is. I think we built a good squad at Arsenal. I think people now see Odegaard, and people now see Gabriel, and people now see Saliba and all the players that we have. But none of these players were really that good when we bought them. Gabriel was about to go to Everton when we got him, and now he's probably one of the best centre backs in the league. Same with Saliba, 21 million all those years ago, loaned him out twice. Now he's so good. Madrid is after him, right? We integrate youth constantly in terms of Miles Lewis Kelly, Nwaneri, right? We get goals out of somebody like Mikel Merino. So I don't think it's there, but I don't fault you from thinking it's the same project. If you believe it's the same project, it is what it is, man. 17th next season, but wins UCL. Should he be sad? Because that's your logic. Devastated with the news. Yes, I think if you lose 22 times in the league, and you somehow win the Champions League, I think first of all it was the Europa League which probably also was a big factor in this. I think Champions League jeetna to Champions League usually best teams nahi jeete. It has to be your day. But I think sack ho jayega. If you lose 22 games in the league, I'm sorry. There is nothing to be positive. It's a very well measured decline, man. Um, so yeah, I think wo fir bhi sack ho jayega. Should he be sacked? This is what Ange wala thing is. I'm not saying the reason I think Ange got sacked is because it is the only team in Premier League history to lose 22 games and not get relegated. And that's it, man. That's what I feel. Choose one, Barcola or Rodrigo. 1020%. Rodrigo. Left wing, there's a reason Ancelotti loved him. There's just too many top dogs at Madrid, man. That's it. Poch had Musa Dembele. What a player, man. Ericsson as well. What a player too. Kai is bulking. Listen, man. Don't let gym sessions fool you, dude. Let him score consistently, and I don't care if he's malnourished or if he's the next Hulk, man. Just score consistently, Kai Havertz. That's all I want, man. Is he worth the hype? Definitely worth the hype, man. You can't score 52 goals on a fluke. I think that's what I feel. No idea what's happened to Naipan, dude. He said no to City, then said no to us. Now he said no to Villa also. So I don't know where he goes. Genuine no idea what happens to Naipan, dude. Rodrigo is playing at right wing. Watch his performance. Yeah, we took this one. Do you think you need an upgrade to Odegaard? With Javi Simmons available in the market, we need to up our creativity element. Neither Merino, Havertz, or Rice are creative. I 100% agree. Javi Simmons, if available, should be brought into the club. The reality is we don't have the money. We can't pull off all the deals. We can't pull off Zubimendi. We can't pull off Zubimendi plus Rodrigo and a Sesko. I think that itself, Zubimendi, Sesko, and Rodrigo will be the toughest in terms of financials to pull off. And Javi Simmons is going to cost 70, 80. That is impossible deal to bring. I think Javi Simmons can play left wing, but again, it's not the sort of left winger we need. He is the creative guy. I would love Javi Simmons at Arsenal. I think Javi Simmons solves so many problems at Arsenal. He can work with Odegaard. He can work without Odegaard. He can work against low blocks, transitions, goal scorer. Sub hai uske paas. But you will have to sacrifice either a number 9 or a left winger again. Um, we unfortunately operate in a very morally upright way, because let's be honest, even though Chelsea have so much PSR headroom, it's because they bend the rules really massively. No football club in the world, unless you're a Saudi club, can afford this. Chelsea can only afford the team they have because they sell car parks and hotels and women's team to themselves. That's the only reason. Otherwise, even Chelsea can't afford this, let's be honest. Even City can't afford this. City also decided last summer to not sign anyone. Maybe they should have been a little more proactive, but no club can sustain all of these signings. So unless we start doing some sort of like shell company tax magic and stuff, that's the only way we can get these guys to it. But someone will have to go essentially. Matlab, get ready for somebody big to be sold. If Madrid somehow comes up to us and says 100 million or 80 million for Saliba, and then we accept it, then yeah, get the Javi Simmons and stuff. But somebody will have to be weaker somewhere else. That's the reality, man. I don't know what's going to happen to Vieira. I would hope we retain him because his stocks are down, and it's good for us to have somebody. We can never have enough depth. This season should be a good sign that we can never have enough depth. If people are upset, if players are upset कि हमें खेलने का मौका नहीं मिल रहा, too bad, dude. Wait for your chance like Kiwior did, and जब मौका मिलेगा, then perform to your hearts out, man. But we aren't a struggling club. We are a top club. We are competing for the top honors. We aim to win the top honors, and unfortunately, there can only be 11 players on the pitch. Whenever you get the limited opportunity, show your best, show you're a beast, and you'll get the opportunity, man. That's the reality. um yeah, again, 80 million is basically, you're going into the season with Merino and Havertz as your number nines, and possibly Rodrigo. If that's the sort of lineup you want to go for, fair enough, man. I still think Kai Havertz with that hamstring surgery um is not this is not the sort of squad construction we should go for. Again, just relying on Havertz to do everything, not gonna work. Not gonna work. What does Barca need this season? A lot of luck with injuries, because a lot of your players are exhausted, most likely after that grueling season this season. Plus, अभी internationals पे भी खेल रहे हैं आपके लोग. But also, I think you're getting a keeper, which is important. बाकी सारे आई थिंक एक बैकअप स्ट्राइकर चाहिए, एक लेफ्ट विंगर चाहिए, एंड एक बैकअप लेफ्ट बैक चाहिए. वो आई थिंक आ जाएगा. डीएम सेंट्रल मिड पोजीशंस पे आई थिंक यू विल गेट दो. आई थिंक कौन आ रहा है? बर्नाल इज कमिंग बैक. या, बर्नाल इज कमिंग बैक. You already have Frankie, Pedri, Gavi. All those guys are already there. Rafinha, Lamine. Just need a left winger, a left back. बैकअप कीपर आ चुका है, बैकअप स्ट्राइकर चाहिए. बस यही सारी चीज़ें चाहिए. अब आप कब उठाओगे वो आपके ऊपर है. आपकी अकेडमी भी तो मस्त है ना, कभी भी कहीं से भी स्पॉन कर देती है. लाइक बैकअप लेफ्ट बैक, although you would need an upgrade over Gerard Martin, but it's like not really necessary, to be honest. What you probably do need is a backup striker. वो कौन होगा देखना पड़ेगा आप लोगों को. दैट्स इट. अभी स्ट्राइकर मार्केट में वो वैल्यू नहीं है जो बारसा को चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से. You need to upgrade your midfield at any time. We constantly upgrade our midfield, man. Now that Jorginho is leaving, we've kept Partey probably for like 1 or 2 years. Most likely, we'll keep him. We'll add Zubimendi. We have Rice. We have Merino. We have Odegaard. We have Dauman coming up. So we constantly upgrade our midfield, man. That's the joke, right? Arteta always likes buying DMs, but we kind of also need DMs and CMs. इतना अच्छा भी है जो इतना हाइप कर रहे हैं. Yes, brother, he's very, very good. And your thing should be the fact that if Luis Campos was ready to sign him, then you've got a really, really good guy, man. Can he solve? Yeah, yeah. Javi Simmons, I think, is a plug and play type of player, man. We can sell Martinelli if we sign Rodrigo, get Simmons. Saliba is not for sale. मार्टिनेली की मार्केट नहीं है यार, जैसे लुइस डियाज एंड उसकी मार्केट है. मार्टिनेली की मार्केट अभी 30-40 मिलियन की है दोस्त. दैट्स इट, मैन. Suddenly feels like Ceballos is untouchable. Maybe. All depends on All depends on Mr. Xabi Alonso. व्हाट आर द चांसेस ऑफ हिम कमिंग, ये तो तभी पता चलेगा जब शाबी और रोड्रिगो की मीटिंग होगी. मीटिंग से पहले आप कुछ भी मतलब सट्टा लगाओगे, हारने वाला ही सट्टा है. अभी तो 0% है. अगर शाबी बोल देता है कि मैं तेरे को देखता हूँ क्लब वर्ल्ड कप में कि तू कैसा खेलता है, लेफ्ट पे या राइट पे, या तू मेरे सिस्टम में फिट होता है, या फिर तू अग्री करता है जो भी रोल है, तो ठीक है. इफ दे कम टू अ कॉम्प्रोमाइज देन डील ओवर मैन. इफ ही सेज कि नहीं सॉरी, इट्स आई थिंक हम दोनों के लिए बेस्ट होगा कि वील फाइंड अ सोल्यूशन फॉर यू, देन चलो भाई, द रेस इज ऑन. सिटी, चेल्सी, आर्सेनल, बायर्न, दैट्स इट. कब होगा ये मीटिंग? जब शाबी मड्रिड ज्वाइन करेगा ऑफिशियली मैन. थैंक्स फॉर हेवन, यू लॉट सेड ही वाजंट गुड बट टर्न्ड आउट हेवनली फॉर अस. नेक्स्ट सीजन इज गोना बी बिग फॉर हिम. I don't think I said he wasn't that good, but I still think relative to where United are right now, he will fit. If United were in the top 4, he's not fitting. It's sort of like what's going to happen with Chido Obi Martin. Even Chido is good. I think Chido is actually a better prospect than Aiden Heaven. But now, when you have Xerxes, Hoyland, Gyökeres, possibly Cunha and Mbomo on the books, Chido unfortunately is not going to sniff a single minute unless it's like a dead rubber game in the Carabao or something. That's the only time he's going to sniff. If I would have loved Aiden Heaven to stay at Arsenal, he would have been Saliba's backup eventually, but he's not gonna overthrow Saliba's position. He's not gonna overthrow Gabriel's position. Um, Maybe when we had both Saliba and Gabriel injured at the end of the season, maybe he could have played. Would have loved for him to be there. But it's just where the clubs are, man. Like City have so many talented people. City had Porro, Gittins, Frimpong, Diaz, Brahim Diaz, मैकाटी, कोल पामर. नहीं मिलती जगह भाई टॉप टीम्स में, कभी कभी तो आपको निकालना पड़ता है. That's what happened to Aiden Heaven. I would have loved him to be at Arsenal, to groom him into being the next Saliba backup and stuff like that. यूनाइटेड पे उसको फर्स्ट टीम अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रही थी बिकॉज सिर्फ मगवायर फिट था, लिंडलॉफ वाज आउट ऑफ फेवर, यू लॉस्ट मार्टिनेज, नो आपका लिजांड्रो आपने लूज कर लिया था, डिलेक्ट आपने लूज कर लिया था. सब तो आपके डिफेंडर्स उड़ गए थे, तो एडन हेविंग को तो मौके मिलने ही थे यार. बट अगर अब आप, मैं कहता हूँ सडनली यू स्टार्ट बाइंग श्लॉटरबैक, किमिंजे, मगवायर रहता है, 2-3 और डिफेंडर्स होते, तो कहाँ मिलेगी एडन हेविंग को जगह भाई. दैट्स हाउ इट हैपेंस मैन. If Rodrigo not, then who's second option? Bhai, your guess is as good as mine, man. I think if not Rodrigo, we're gonna go all in on a striker, a defensive midfielder, and a Saka backup probably. फिर हम ट्रॉसार्ड एंड मार्टिनेली के साथ ही खेलेंगे. उसके अलावा यार है कौन? गिटिंस, आई थिंक चेल्सी चली जाएगी गिटिंस के लिए. ले आओ, मेरे हिसाब से मूव नहीं कर रहा है, बट बायर्न आर इन फॉर हिम. I really don't see if there's a really good left winger anywhere unless we get like Sane for free, or we get, I don't know, like if Grealish is for cheap. That's the only options I can think of. There are literally no other option in the left wing market I can think. मतलब आपको कैलम हडसन ओडोय टाइप्स लेना है, तो आई थिंक इट्स बेटर, लाइक नॉट दैट दे आर बैड प्लेयर्स और एनीथिंग, बट इट्स बेटर maybe Anthony Gordon, but again Newcastle in the Champions League, so I don't see Gordon also leaving for that matter. So left wing market मतलब you'll have to get super creative or super lucky man. स्टिलर का पूछा था मैंने भाई, स्टिलर भी अच्छा प्लेयर है यार, आई थिंक. बट स्टिलर एंड मसन दोनों बहुत अलग अलग पोजीशंस पे खेलते हैं, दोनों का कंपैरिजन नहीं है. बट इफ यू आर आस्किंग स्टिलर इतना अच्छा है, स्टिलर बहुत बढ़िया है टेम्पो कंट्रोलिंग एंड एवरीथिंग में. उसकी शक्ल अजीब सी है, इसलिए लोग उसको उतना रेट नहीं करते हैं. एंड सुकायो बाका, बिल्कुल. Nico signing a contract extension man, and he's asking for 300k net. 300k net मतलब आप उसमें 40-50% टैक्स जोड़ दोगे, सो दैट्स 450k ग्रॉस ऑलमोस्ट. इतनी सैलरी हम नहीं दे सकते. 400k ग्रॉस, 450k ग्रॉस फॉर दैट मैटर. 450,000 into 50 is 22.5 million दोस्तों. You cannot commit 22.5 million per year to a player. That's unfortunately not going to happen. Igor Paksha, yeah, maybe he can be one of those guys. Saliba, Rodrigo, swap deal, no point. No point getting eye surgery by cutting both your legs off. Not strong yet, man. All depends on your meeting with Shabi. Eid Mubarak, bhai. Eid Mubarak to everyone who's celebrating, man. Um, you should know what happened to me. अच्छा, ठीक है. Semenyo proven player है भाई. Semenyo is okay, man. Like he's good, but he can't be your Champions League left winger, man. Sorry. Again, good cannot be. We are saying if you don't get Rodrigo, get Malik Fofana. If you don't get Rodrigo, get Semenyo. These guys probably can do a job, but we don't want a job. We need a level raiser. That's it, man. Really see 20 league goals from Rodrigo? Do you see Sesko banging 20 goals? Personally, I don't see both you guys need goals to win. League should be all over Gyökeres or Osimhen. Osimhen would be really, really good. But if you're too expensive for Al Hilal, you're definitely expensive for Arsenal. Gyökeres will still bang मेरे हिसाब से at least 12 goals. So I have no issues with him. It's just he's not a good fit for us, man. He's a better fit for United. I'm not even joking. Better fit for United, better fit for Chelsea, better fit for Barca. These three teams, I will say. For us and City, not at all, man. Not at all. You will have to have a coach like Pep Guardiola who can tweak an entire system to maximize Erling Haaland. Otherwise, you have so many. Don't you remember, guys? Apart when his first season was there, everyone was like, "Wow, wow, wow." But second season, when Haaland dropped off a little bit, everyone was like, "ये क्या ghost ले लिया है? कुछ नहीं कर पाता Haaland, tap ins करता है, ये करता है, वो करता है." We all know Haaland is good, man. It's gonna happen to Gyökeres as well. The problem is Gyökeres Gyökeres का सेस्को की प्राइस बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा है यार. Which is why अगर सेस्को आता है, I think we're gonna ease him in, dude. I still think Havertz will play most of the minutes, which not too thrilled about, but I understand, man. You don't want a Hoyland-like situation where there is so much media pressure on him because of the price. He will crumble and fail. Um, क्योंकि मीडिया को तो मसाला चाहिए होता है. पैसों का नुकसान क्लब को होगा, करियर का नुकसान सेस्को को होगा. Okay. Did I miss any super chats? Did I miss any? Oh, we've taken this one. Okay. ये हो गया था. Hey, what's up, bro? Gyökeres, what the hype? हो गया था. Sell Martinelli, keep Trossard. Yeah, Gunners, I think that's probably what we're going to do. I think Trossard doesn't fetch us more than 25 million, and I think Martinelli probably fetches us 35, 45 million, based on the hype and everything right now. So you will gain more money if you sell him for 35 million. You get almost his wages plus around like 130 million of spending room, but you lose a top like a prospect, man. I'll hate to sell Martinelli, but it's sort of necessary. He's 23 years of age. Yeah, there's a lot he can do. There's a lot he can do. ये मस्तन तो वाली बात हो गई थी. All right, दोस्तों, let's end the chat, end the stream in like 10 minutes. Let's end it. बहुत हो गया. Oof. I thought about this. I thought about this. What if we put in a cheeky bid for Rashford? But I think two things: his heart is set at Barca, and he probably just wants a change of scenery from England. And two, I think United will absolutely fleece us for money, man. Like they'll use the Rashford money to fund Gyökeres sort of situation. मतलब वो 60-65 types मांग लेंगे. वो हम नहीं कर सकते. So I wouldn't mind it, man. But at the price that they're quoting, which is like those 35, 40 million that they're gonna use for Barca. If that's the price, okay. Maybe if you miss out on Rodrigo, or if Rodrigo's not for sale, you can go for Rashford. But again, let's just put it one way. I would prefer Rashford over Sane. I think Sane is decent. He'll be a Saka backup, can also play on the left. But it's Sane, man. He's aged and older, man. नहीं हशीम, हमने इसके बारे में बात करी थी. Don't see how Morgan Rogers fits for us, man. He's not gonna take Rice's position, and he's not a good left winger for us either, man. Words to Liverpool, I think all in will be around 150 million euros, which is 135 million pounds. Case हिसाब से, मेरे हिसाब से, that's it. Rashford is cooking under Emery, was falling back, trickery, beating right back. Martinelli can't at the moment. Maybe. See, he had, I think, 2 goals for Villa, right? Rashford, Aston Villa stats. Let's see. I think he got a ton of assists. Yeah, so actually not even a ton of assists. All right. Marcus Rashford stats 24-25. Um, so Marcus Rashford in the entirety of last year had 11 goals, 9 assists, 20 GA, not a bad return. Two came in the AFL Cup, two came in the FA Cup, one in the Europa League, which I'm assuming is for United, with one assist. 6 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League. His assist came against Bruges, assist came against Paris Saint Germain, goal came against Porto, assist came against Porto. For United, a goal against Southampton. For United, an assist against Brentford, Ipswich, 2 goals against Everton. Listen, man, most of his goals are against relegation fodder, dude. For Villa, he got an assist against Ipswich. He got 2 assists against Chelsea, got a goal against Brighton, and got a goal against Man City. And missed 4 games through injuries. So, yeah. For Villa, he's actually gotten 3 assists and 2 goals. So it might have looked like he is cooking, but 2 goals and 3 assists in 6 months is what Martinelli gives us right now. I'll watch it after the stream, brother. We want to see the best of Sterling, which is yet to come. Never fall in love with a lone player, man. Never fall in love with a lone player. I'm so sad that Sterling is leaving us. Thank you so much, Nikun, for the huge contribution. Spurs team is generational with Sar, Udogi, Poro, Kulusevski, Berwal. Ange was poor. Why are people attacking Spurs for taking a great footballing call? Winning Europa does not mean he's a good coach for Spurs. I 1000% agree. In fact, it's not only the players you have mentioned. They also have Mikey Moore. They also have Vuskovic. They also have Archie Gray. They also have Kevin Danso, Kinski, uh, Pedro Porro, Cuti Romero, Mickey van der Ven. They have an entire group of people ready to take the next. They have some Korean dude as well who's really, really, really good, apparently. The next Korean dude they have. So, yeah, I agree. It's a good footballing decision, man. Emotionally, for Spurs right now, Semenyo 11 goals, 5 assists. Yeah, fair enough, man. 40 million 20 GA is good. But मैंने आपको अभी जैसे बताया ना एकलव्य भाई, most of it was against relegation teams, man. And for Villa, it's 2 goals, 3 assists. No. Oh my god, give me this mock bell. Oh my god, bring back Poch. We are ready, man. This is mock bell's tweet. It's not as scandalous as Gary Bhai has just posted. This is mock bell's actual tweet, man. Thomas Frank is a strong contender. Pochettino, Silva, Iraola are other options to be discussed. I think it'll be Frank, dosto. Thomas Frank banega. Oh, if Pochettino comes back at Spurs, bruh. Wait, he's at USA right now, man. Oh, if Poch comes back at Spurs, bro, it's over, man. It's over, bro. It'll be a good emotional reunion for Spurs fans, but otherwise, chat जाने से पहले rate this kit out of 10. Rate this kit out of 10. How much do you rate this? Is it? No. Rate this kit out of 10. 8.5, 10, 7.79. One cause a Barca fan. Barca fan, but it's fire. It's a fire kit, dude. It's a fire kit. 8.5, 11,000. Fantastic, fantastic. जिसको membership join करनी है, by the way, दोस्तों. If you're not from India and you can't access memberships because memberships is not a feature in your country like Nepal, Bhutan, Pakistan, you can join the membership through Patreon. You'll get the same benefits as a regular member. It's also, I think, a bit cheaper, if I'm not mistaken. Also, कोई मेंबरशिप का लिंक अगर नहीं किसी को पता तो दिस इज द लिंक youtube.com/footballwithdaksh/join मेरे चैनल पे जाओ उसके आगे /join लगा दो you'll be redirected to the membership joining page if it's not showing on your device. Any chance of बड़े भैया winning the Nations League? I'll be honest, man. Spain's about to thrash them. Okay. YGR के IG पे comments देखे नहीं देखे मैंने. 8.5 kit, average kit 2 out of 10, 9.5, 10, classic 10 out of 10, 8, solid 9, easy 10, 8,000. All right, perfect. Thank you, dosto, for joining in. मुझे गिव अवे कर दो, नहीं कर सकता मैं गिव अवे. There are just five elite strikers: Haaland, Alvarez, Isak, Kane, Lewandowski. Exactly. I don't say less rest of the same as Nunes, but they're definitely a tier below, man. Mikel Ultaleta. Oh yeah, his coaching wala thing. That's what you meant. Gotcha. It's Big 2025. It is Big 2025. Thank you so much for joining us on this Big 2025. 2 hours of stream, 400 people almost throughout. Like the stream if you haven't. Congratulations to the 10 people who got the membership. I'll be posting a Discord link. Eid Mubarak to everyone who's celebrating. And yeah, enjoy your summer, man. Enjoy June. We shall be back tomorrow with a short on Victor Gyökeres. And I was thinking of making an Ange video, but we've done a 2 hour stream, so I don't think it's necessary anymore. All right, dosto. Talk to you later. See you all soon. Join us regularly, man. You never know when we do a membership giveaway. It's fun to engage with the community. Good night. See you all soon. Tada. See you. Bye bye. Comment kar dena if you have any questions on the anything we discussed about today. Good night. See you. Bye bye.